Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Coach E here, sitting here thinking about how good we did in this 2026 NFL draft. The Browns came through, and guess what, y'all? I got to give Andrew Berry some credit. I do. I got to give him all the love that he needs. He did a great job this year. He did a great job last year. And this is what we were talking about on the show. If you're an avid listener to the Coach E Game for All Seasons podcast, which you really should be, you should like, subscribe, and go ahead and share this podcast with everybody else that you've been talking to them about this podcast and doing what you need to do. Help us out to help you. But now back to this Andrew Berry love that I have to show him. I have to show him good grace for this draft. Like I just said, last year, he had a great one. This year, he followed it up with some very key picks, very key trades, very key moving up and down the draft board, up and down the selection board, which helps him fill the roster. We all know that we are, hindered by that Deshaun Watson contract. So we got to do what we got to do with this rookie class and last year's rookie class so they can be on a good pay scale so we can afford everybody to fill out a good roster and a competitive roster. And with these young guys coming in, they're ready to compete and ready to make a name for themselves. So they're just sitting there ready, waiting, and they're just ready to play. So we got to give Andrew Berry the love. I know I've been talking bad about him to a certain extent, not saying how horrible he is, but just saying I didn't trust him in certain situations. But he showed why we do need to trust him in this draft process. And it's been a caveat that we haven't been talking about. Ever since D. Podesta has been gone, he's been doing the things that he should have been doing the whole time. Clearly, it's been handcuffs put on him when D. Podesta was there, but now he took the handcuffs off. He's been free. He's been making great decisions, been drafting great kids, great role players to fill out the roster that we need to fill out with, like I just said, the young talent and the affordable young talent. You can email this show, gameforallseasons@gmail.com. Give me a comment or whatever you want to do, whatever you got to say. Just email the show so we can talk about that. You can also leave a voicemail on the show, 216-452-2608. So we are ready here to talk about the 2026 Browns draft, the wrap up. We are wrapping this draft up with a nice tight red bow, putting it to sleep. But we got to talk about the goodness first. So we're going to start all the way from the first round, of course. We're going to go pick by pick and just explain what we like, what we don't like, and what they should be doing in this year coming up on the field. So you can go to round 1, pick 9. We have originally started with pick 6, traded 3 spots back to go to pick 9, and we drafted Spencer Fano. He's the offensive tackle for Utah. Great pick because we needed an offensive tackle. We did all the free agency offensive line work. We got a couple guards, a center, but we needed the tackle position, especially the left tackle position. So he started at Utah as a left tackle, but he eventually got moved to right tackle. But he's so athletic and so valuable that he's able to move to the left side. So now he will be our starting left tackle. I'm pretty sure of that. I don't think I'm doing a stretch job on this. I'm pretty sure he'll be ready to start for us day 1 on that left side. We got Deron Jones working that right side. We tried him at left tackle, but it just wasn't the deal. So he got to go back to the right-hand side. We have Spencer Fano to go ahead and take over that left tackle duty for the Browns. That was a great pick for Andrew right there in round 1, pick 9. When he traded down from 6 to 9, I immediately thought, like, oh, man, what is he doing? I don't trust him. He's starting the same way that he started years before that didn't pan out, but this ended up panning out. He was the highest-rated tackle in this draft, so we got the highest-rated tackle in the draft. We're going to move him to the left side so we can protect whatever quarterback it is, Shador or Deshaun. We're ready for that option that we have. So the first round, we had the 24th pick. We ended up getting a receiver. The whole time I was thinking we should have got receiver at 6 and then got a tackle at 24. Instead, we flipped it. We got the tackle at, 9, not 6, because we traded back. Then we had that receiver at 24, which is KC Concepcion from Texas A&M. Very shifty, small guy, explosive, creative with the ball in his hands, but that's the thing. He has to catch the ball. He's had these drop things that's been plaguing him for his career, but they label it as concentration drops. So I don't know where that sits with you, but to me, that can be a big deal. If his concentration drops and he constantly drops the ball, not concentrating, that could be a thing that's going to follow you to that next level. So I'm just hoping that he can overcome that and be the explosive player that we need in the slot position. We haven't had a slot position that's explosive that can take the ball from a 15-yard catch to a touchdown, which once again, like I said yesterday, it'll get us past that 16 points per game that we've been averaging for the last 2 years. Offense has not been doing their job, haven't been pulling their weight like they used to. So we had to go to that slot position and get KC Concepcion. Also, he has another hat he's going to wear. I'm pretty sure he's going to be either the punt return or the kickoff return guy because he has that history at Texas A&M returning kicks and making big plays while he's returning those kicks. So, like I say, he's very explosive playmaker when the ball is in his hand, but he has to make sure when he catches the ball, it is in his hand. So then we'll go to that second round, pick number 39. This is what I was wanting the whole time. I expressed this yesterday in the wrap up, but I will express it right now once again. Denzel Boston from the University of Washington, wide receiver, 6'4", 220, red zone target. He does everything he needs to do from 20 to 20 to be open and available, but from the 20 on into the goal line, aka the red zone, he's a very valuable target, catches those high point balls, gets those jump balls, those 50-50 balls, keeps them away from the defender. Even if he doesn't catch the ball, he makes sure that the defense cannot steal it from him. So he's a very aggressive catcher with the hands. That's all I wanted, a big receiver for the Cleveland Browns. We haven't had that in years. I'll go back to the Josh Gordon days that we had a very dominant big receiver. So hopefully Denzel Boston, not saying he's going to be Josh Gordon, maybe he can have the 60% productivity that Josh Gordon had back in the day, which gave him kind of elite status back then. Everybody knew who Josh Gordon was. They made the game plan on him, trying to keep him very limited in his catches, especially the yards after catch. So Denzel Boston has to be that beast that we need on the outside to win and get those 50-50 balls and to put points on the board in the red zone and to come up with those possession plays from 20 to 20 in order to get us to the red zone. So after that Denzel Boston pick, we'll go to round 2, pick number 58, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. He's a safety out of Toledo. Once again, I told you we needed a safety. We got the safety. He's very aggressive. And yesterday I talked about his knee injury, which I totally didn't mean to say that. It was another guy that I was thinking of and that I heard being talked about. It wasn't him. So he has no injuries, guys. I jumped the gun. I'm sorry. Bad information. I should know better. I should do better with that, and I will. But we have Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, aggressive safety. He'll come down, fill the alley, fill those gaps in the run game. He will also be in the deep secondary, picking off those deep passes. And if he can't get to the ball, he's a physical, hard-hitting safety. So he will definitely make his presence felt in the middle of the field to hash, the sideline to sideline, coming down, filling those run gap lanes. So he can help with the run game. He could be that extra unblocked defender that we need in order to continue to make plays. Like I said, this defense is second world, man. You got the defensive line that's crazy. You got linebackers now that do the perfect job, Schwessinger and everybody else that's tied into the linebacker spot. And then you have the secondary with Campbell and Ward, and now him being at that safety position. Delpit as well, but I think there will be a good tandem to hold down the middle of the field to get what we want out of the defense. Hopefully we turn the offense over, the other team's offense, of course, and get our offense back on the field so we can continue to score more points to win more games, because we just need to do that from the get-go. Then now let's go to round 3, pick number 86, Austin Barber. He's an offensive tackle from Florida. So at this point, we're thinking about depth, right? We already have our offensive tackle with Fano, and then we have DeJuan Jones, but we need some depth because we haven't had a season where our offensive line stays healthy the whole year. So when that happens, we end up throwing the third string in and we have to trade for somebody for emergency purposes. But now we are preparing ourselves for that situation. We don't want it to happen, but just in case it does happen, we will be ready to go with Austin Barber at offensive tackle. He can go left or right tackle, and he can do what's necessary in order to be that sub that we need. 6'7", 318. He was the third team All SEC, started all 12 games at left tackle. He also can play some right tackle, but just in case if Fano gets a little nick or ding or whatever, he can step in and hopefully plug that hole. He's not going to be at that high level like Fano, but I do trust Austin Barber to be a good quality backup and a good quality pro. So that was another good pick by Andrew Berry there. So we move on from Austin Barber, and then we go ahead and talk about Parker Brailsford. We needed a center because our centers were hurt last year. We had Whippler from Ohio State ended up having a season-ending injury. So now that's why we, once again, went for depth at the offensive line position. Parker Brailsford, 6'2", 289. He also was third team All SEC. Started 14 games at center. He was a team captain. He's more of a power guy, which gives him the lower leverage because he is 6'2", and linemen are usually about 6'4" and up. But if you're a 6'2", center, you have that leverage going against that defensive tackle, whether it be a nose, a one technique, or a three technique. Nose meaning it's straight right over his face, being ready to come in and make a play, or a one technique, it'll be to opposite of the strength. If the strong is right, he will be on the left hand shoulder of that center. If it's a three technique, he will be on the other side, the strong side of that center. So I believe that Parker will give us the versatility that we need just in case if Whippler's not ready to start the season from that injury that he had last season. He should be getting himself together and ready for the 2026 campaign. If not, we have Parker Brailsford in order to supply depth to that offensive line. Then now we fast forward, we got Justin Jefferson. He was in round 5, pick number 149. He's the linebacker from Alabama. He totaled 85 tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss with 3 sacks. He had an interception, 5 pass breakups, and 1 forced fumble. But they're looking for him to kind of fulfill the special teams role, kind of like what the linebacker Abdul had to do, number 43, Diabate. They're looking for Justin Jefferson to be kind of a Diabate replacement, to do special teams and to come in certain packages on defense just to help with that athleticism out there that can cover ground, whether we're in zone coverage or if we're in man coverage. So they're looking for Justin Jefferson to step up pretty big as soon as he gets on the field with that special teams position. Let's not underrate the special teams, guys. We are a team that gave up 2 punt returns to the New York Jets last year, and we ended up losing the game that we should not have lost just because we didn't have the proper special team guys or the hungry special team guys out there to make the play to stop them from scoring. So that's where Justin Jefferson comes in handy. He'll be that thirsty guy out there doing whatever he has to do to beat the block in order to get that tackle, to make that special teams tackle, to make that special teams play, in order for us to either get the ball back or set our defense up at the right side of the field just so they can continue to get those 3 and outs or have a little drive and shut that offense down the way that they need to. And that other pick right here, Joe Royer. He's a tight end from Cincinnati. He was round 5, pick number 170. He also third team, all Big 12, started 13 games. But this is a guy who we're looking for to come in and be that blocking tight end. We already have a tight end in Harold Fanning Jr. that is the athletic tight end, and he can go get the ball, go make plays, line up anywhere on the field, and make those catches that we need him to. In the red zone, he's a great weapon in the middle of the field. But fast forward to Joe Royer. He's a great blocker. he takes the challenge, he takes it personal, and he gets that defender from over top of him to open up the run lanes or open up a passing lane for the quarterback in order to get the job done, to get those points on the board. So he's relegated to that role player position, but he's clearly ready for that and he's used to that. So he can step in real fast, make those key blocks. He's not going to be an ultimate pass catcher. He's not going to be the guy that you game plan against in order to stop, to keep points off the board. He's just going to be a key cog in that blocking scheme, in that goal line, just to help us get points on the board, to do the things that he needs to do in order to help us get more points on the board. Round 6, pick number 182, Taylen Green. He's a quarterback from Arkansas. He is 6'6", 227. He played in all 12 games with 11 starts. He had a very decent year. Long guy, very long guy playing quarterback, and a very athletic guy playing quarterback. So you look at the way Todd Monken sees football. He's coming from that Lamar Jackson realm where he designed the offense for Lamar Jackson to be very successful. With a guy like Taylen Green, not saying he's going to come in and play immediately, just saying he's going to be available in the quarterback room, learning under Deshaun Watson, learning under Shedeur Sanders, learning under Dylan Gabriel. He'll see the game in a different way and use his athleticism to be in the best position to help this team. Now, don't forget, Taylen Green ran the 40 at the combine, a 4.3. He's a 4.3 guy at the quarterback position that touches the ball every time. Quarterbacks have to receive the snap, have to audible, have to do everything to set up the offense for the best place for them to be successful. But the way he's built, the way his athleticism is, and the way he plays the game, he opens up so much for the offense because he's such a big threat. They have to key in on him and try to spot and spy with a linebacker or a safety, which is taking another defender out of the equation so you can be able to get the yardage that you need, the big gains that you need. So Taylen Green, he's definitely a Swiss Army knife, a good passer, very good athlete, elusive, and can get the job done at a very high level. Don't forget, he went to Arkansas, which is a SEC school, and he's played quarterback there for a very long time. So he's not going to be afraid of the big stage and not ready to produce in the NFL on the way that we need him to. And last but not least, round 7, pick number 248. We have Carson Ryan from BYU, 6'3", 255. He was an honorable mention in the Big 12 conference, played in all 14 games with 13 starts. So he's another guy that just does the bare necessities, that works his butt off, continues to not settle for anything less than greatness. Great blocker. You know how we had Kevin Stefanski here, and I was the guy that was talking about, man, we've been running a lot of these tight ends. We need to get more athletic. We need more skill position guys out there. But the way Todd Monken is going to want to run the ball, you're going to need a lot of these blockers with that tight end position. So that's exactly why we went and drafted him, Joe Royer, and that's exactly why we went and drafted him, Carson Ryan. They're going to be your blocking tight ends, clearing the way for Junkins, Sampson, and whatever running back that is behind there, ready to produce. So they'll help you do that in a certain way that nobody else can. That's why they got drafted in the position that they did. Andrew Berry, I feel, did a very good job trading down, getting more picks. Like I said before the show started, he just had to fill a roster with young talent, young athletic talent, young talent that were ready to play, young talent that is ready to accept the new Browns culture, because that's what it is. With Todd Monken, he's not Kevin Stefanski. He's not going to run the same thing Kevin Stefanski ran. He's going to run the things that he's used to, and he's very astute in the offensive game of football, and he can create different ways to get so many different people involved. So I'm expecting big things from this offense this year just off of that coaching change alone and Todd Monken's track record in the history of the way he does offense. So I'm extremely excited for all these picks to get on the field and show their worth. Because you can sit here and say just because they were picked right here that oh man, this is a great draft, but you never know until they produce the way they need to produce and then more. So we are sit here and wait and sit back and be comfortable and see how they make that transition from college all the way to the NFL. Very happy at the draft, very happy with the guys we got, very happy with the depth that our team has in very important and vital positions in the game of football. Andrew Berry, you heard it first from me right here. Apologize to you, brother. You did a great job this year at the draft, and hopefully this will continue to build momentum so we can have a winner here, man. We've been in Cleveland for a very long time. Me, myself, been a Cleveland Browns fan for pretty much all of my life and haven't seen a lot of winning. Haven't seen a lot of dominant teams. Haven't seen teams with very athletic people opening up the game for everybody else to do their part and be a great role player and just make plays and be hungry and be a difference maker. Very seldom do you see that when people come to Cleveland. So with last year's draft and this year's draft, I believe Andrew Berry created that atmosphere, and it is up to them to find that normal, to push themselves past that normal. So I trust that everything he did will get us better at the end of the day. And I'm so excited to see what they have in store for this 2026-27 season. We will only see the greatness of what they have. So great job, Andrew Berry. This is Coach E, and I'm wrapping up my wrap-up of the 2026 NFL Draft with the Cleveland Browns. I really appreciate for you guys listening and watching. And don't forget, you can email this show at gameforallseasons@gmail.com. You can also leave a voicemail, 216-452-2608. So come on, y'all. Let's banter back and forth. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree with my assessments. Let me know what you're thinking about this year's Browns team that's coming up. Who's going to be the starting quarterback, so on and so on and so forth. Ready to receive that information and talk back to you. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time on Coach E Game for All Seasons. See you later. Break.